And here we are back again with our 6th flight in our trip around the world in 80 days. This flight is one I have been looking forward to because this flight will depart here again from the airbase that the RAF was originated from, and we head over into Egypt even further. So this episode we're gonna visit the pyramids, the Sphinx, Cairo, and yeah, there's a lot of stuff, and I hope we have a good view of everything that is to come. But first, again, let's get this bird started up. And we are off for flight number 6 in my trip around the world in 80 days. So let's just get everything set up. Let's get our altitude in like the right settings so we have good visuals of the pyramids and everything that we're going to visit, and enjoy the views. Alright, we have settled in. So first, if we have a look on our map screen, we have quite a big distance of desert to cross. So this is like the Suez Canal that we visited last time. And wait, how do I do this? Here we go. Oh god, that is framey. So this is all desert, and then we get to Egypt and the Nile again. With the pyramids and the Sphinx and all that good jazz. It's going to be really interesting to see how the pyramids look and all that stuff. So yeah, we'll see when we get there. Let's speed it up a little bit. And yeah, cue sexy montage. And we are getting close to our first destination, which is Cairo, one of the biggest cities, or even the capital of Egypt. I should really fucking know this before I start talking. Probably... Okay, wait. What's the pause button again? There we go. Hold, please. Cairo is indeed the capital of Egypt. I've done so much research, but that's the one thing I kind of forgot to look at. I mean, that's a fail, isn't it? So yeah, we're getting close to Cairo, and if we have a look, we'll actually pass the international airport of Cairo, which is like a huge one, very famous airport. Jesus Christ. So, but then we'll have like some other locations. So I'm actually gonna drop her down a bit. Let's go like about 1,000. Yeah, let's drop her down and also slow her down. Because, we're in luck. Because I'm flying with live weather, there must be some dust storm, sandstorm, or fog in Egypt. Because as you can see, we can definitely... It's definitely a little bit foggier, or whatever you want to call it. So we have passed, I mean, we didn't even like get to see it, but we did pass the international airport of Cairo. Now we should, let's see, I can slow her down a little bit more. So our first location should be the Al Arafai Mosque. So it is a very famous mosque that is also currently the royal mausoleum of Muhammad Ali's family in very elaborate tombs. So let's see if we can spot it somewhere. I mean... Oh, here, Jesus, hell. Okay, yeah, there we go. Whoa. There we have it. Damn, that must be impressive in real life. Damn. Alright, nice. Apologies for the camera jolting. Okay, and then we have... We should have fairly close... Yeah, that is... the... Egyptian Museum. So we're gonna hit the pause button for a bit. It's home to the one of the most extensive collection of Egyptian antiques. Funnily enough, it has only been open to the public since March of 2019, which I found quite surprising, actually. This is where the legendary golden mask of Tutankhamun is. Probably one of the most legendary and most famous artifacts of the Egyptian history. And in the garden next to it, so I presume that should be somewhere like there, or maybe this in front. There is actually a memorial to remember all great Egyptologists who did discoveries over the multiple years that have passed. So I thought that was pretty cool that they actually made an effort into remembering all people who invested hundreds and hundreds of hours into excavating and researching everything. So moving on then, right in front of us, and we should be clear, yeah. We have the Cairo Tower, which is also a very interesting building, definitely. It is actually a television tower that is 43 meters high than the Pyramid of Gizeh, which I found very interesting that they built something that's higher than the pyramids. So this is actually a television tower that also has a restaurant and a viewing platform. So it probably gives you an amazing view of the city when there's no sandstorm or fog. That should be the casino, I think. Let me check if I can check. Yeah, that is a quite famous casino. It's the Barrière Casino. And Barrière is like a brand name, and it's the French leader in casinos, luxurious hotels, and a world player in spare time entertainment. Let's continue on, keep our eyes peeled. But this, ooh, Jesus. This is definitely like already a very interesting part of the city, I'd say. Now we are making our turn. We are going to leave the busy city of Cairo, and we are heading towards the pyramids, and you can already see it in the distance. And here we have the Giza Pyramid Complex, with the Great Pyramid of Giza, the Pyramid of Khafre, and the Pyramid of Menkaure. I hope I'm pronouncing this right in English. So these two pyramids are the biggest pyramids that were ever built, or that are still standing and that we know of. So wait, let's pause it. No, let's pause it. I mean, this is a this is a screenshot or a thumbnail, I'd say. So let's pause it here for a bit. So you can actually see for in the middle pyramid, it kind of still has the tip, like the limestone that was covering it. So normally all of these pyramids would have or were planned to have that, but either they weren't finished or due to the test of time and the wear on it, it has fallen off. So the middle pyramid, as we see here, it has the most intact of these three, of like the smooth top layer. We can also see in the distance, if we zoom in a little bit, and it's not entirely dysfunctional, you see the Great Sphinx, also a very unique and interesting structure. Like this is the thing, like always during high school, learning about like in the history lessons and stuff, I found the Egyptian era, or like the timeline of Egypt, so interesting because it's so unique in comparison to anywhere in the world. Like this is just the fact that they built these things back then with the quote-unquote technology, like rope and wood and slavery, not really technology, but it's insane what they managed to do. So last bit of information about this. This is also listed as one of the 7 wonders of the world. It's by far the oldest one, and actually the last one, or the only one that is still in existence. I'm also gonna post a screenshot of, I think, the Wikipedia page. It has an insane complex of tunnels and what was planned. I can actually kind of see like layouts and lines in the dirt, or like in the sand. I highly suggest reading up on it because there's so much information, too much for me to just even think about mentioning in one video. But it's very, very interesting, and I highly suggest like looking into it or maybe finding a documentary. But that was 3 pyramids down. On to the next one, and I think we can already see it a little bit in the distance. Yeah. Oh, that's amazing. That's cool. You can actually see them from a distance already. This is by far, I think, my most favorite flight. So next pyramid we're visiting, or we're gonna fly over, is the Pyramid of Djoser, which is actually a step pyramid. And as you'll see, compared to the other ones have, like, you can kind of see the angles that make up the steps, but this one is, I would say, chunkier. The steps are bigger, so you'll see the difference compared to the other ones. This pyramid is actually the central feature of a vast mortuary complex surrounded by ceremonial structures. No actual bodies were recovered from this when it was discovered, or like in recent times, because the tomb was heavily pillaged throughout history since the Egyptian era, and when archaeologists and Egyptologists, oh Jesus Christ, and scientists started to excavate and discover these pyramids. And after a total of 14 years of restoration, it was opened for public visits again in March of 2020, which probably due to COVID didn't see that many people visiting, but you know. So if we zoom in a little bit, yeah, you can see what I mean with like the steps. So these are bigger like angles, or like yeah, bigger rectangle steps than the other pyramids. So there's a clear difference in design that is noticeable. Oh, I love this game so much. It's amazing. This is so fun. Also, you can still see like a little bit of the sandstorm and stuff behind us, but then everything is like cleared up around us. That's amazing. So next up, we see two pyramids. We have the Red Pyramid, and then the Bent Pyramid. Red Pyramid is actually named after the rusty reddish hue of its red limestone that you see. Like in real life, it's probably more pronounced. And it's actually considered the first successful attempt at building a true smooth-sided pyramid. Interesting fact, this closest pyramid was built after the furthest one, and the furthest one is the Bent Pyramid. And you can kind of see that the bottom half of the Bent Pyramid has like a sharper angle than the top half. This was because they probably had instability issues during building the bottom half, and then they decided to change the angle. And actually, the angle of the top part is the same as the angle of this closest pyramid right here. So they learned from the mistake of the furthest one, the Bent Pyramid, and adapted with this one. Let's see. And the Bent Pyramid was also opened to tourists in 2019 after it has been off limits for tourists since 1965. That's almost 50. That is 50 years that it was off limits for tourists. It was only for scientists and Egyptologists. So that is also pretty amazing. So let's see. Can we see it a little bit in the distance? There should be one more pyramid that we're going to visit, but it's quite. This is quite away from the other pyramids. So let's see. Yeah, the medium pyramid, but I think it's a little bit too far. Let's zoom in a little bit more. Can we spot it somewhere? No, I don't think so. Either that or I am just completely blind. So yeah, I'll cue in again the montage music, and we'll see when we get a little bit closer. And there in the distance we can see the pyramid poking out. And as you can kind of see, this is again another different design. Was the first straight-sided pyramid. So you'll see that instead of it being an angle, it's almost vertical. But throughout history, there was a partial collapse, probably because, yeah, instability issues, and that's hence the reason why the other ones have more of an angle, like less of a steep angle, because it adds more stability. There's also multiple signs that this pyramid was never finished. There is a valley temple missing. The mortuary is incomplete. Only a part of the walls were actually polished. So there are speculations that they started to build this, and during the building process, they constantly had issues with instability, and possibly just kind of abandoned it, or just didn't invest any more time and resources to it. But it's definitely also, let's zoom in a little bit, there you go, very unique. And actually, like, you can also see the steps, like the 3 tiers. Top tier is seen better days, but under, like, the mountain next to it are also 2 tiers built. So that's probably just because of the times and stuff that sand heaped up and started to cover it up. But there are actually 2 more layers under that mountain, if you can call it like that. So also very interesting. They really did a good job with implementing these pyramids into the sim, I must say. Really, really awesome. All right. And that is actually the bulk of the interesting things. Now we are just going to follow the Nile and head to our landing airport. So actually, I think for once, usually I fly quite low. I think now I'm gonna actually go high and get some hopefully nice shots of the Nile from high up. So let's go about to 10,000 feet and rev the engine. Just go for a smooth landing. Just silky, silky smooth. Okay, we're too fast. Dial back the throttle. Dial back the throttle. That is a horrible approach. Just kiss her on the ground. Kiss her on the ground. I mean, I'll take it. I will take it. That is I mean, it's not good, but it also ain't horrible. And there we go. That's the end of our 6th flight in this crazy plan to fly around the world in 80 days. Possibly my favorite episode or my favorite flight so far. The pyramids were just beautiful, and just seeing how the Nile gives life to a barren desert wasteland, really, really cool to see. I'm just gonna quickly check my notes. Next episode, we're going to cross the Red Sea, head into Saudi Arabia. We're going to fly over Mecca, which is also a very big city and a well-known, I hope I don't offend anybody, like pilgrimage for Muslim people. I will get my information right next episode. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. Any feedback is welcome. I am planning to potentially live stream some of my flights, but that I'll have to see when and how I'll do that. But for now, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you next time in my 7th flight of my flight around the world in 80 days.